4. From social networks to social work in net, digitalization side. 4.1. Where do we come from and where are we now? Social networks as a source of new psychological distress through comparison and unreal expectations of one's appearance, etc. The advent of social networks has brought about significant changes in how people interact and perceive themselves, but it has also given rise to new psychological distress, particularly related to comparison and unrealistic expectations of one's appearance. The constant exposure to carefully curated and often idealized representations of others' lives and appearances on social media platforms can have detrimental effects on individuals' self-esteem and mental well-being. One of the main factors contributing to this distress is the pervasive nature of comparison. Social media platforms provide a constant stream of posts, images, and updates from others, creating a breeding ground for comparison. Individuals may find themselves comparing their own lives, achievements, and physical appearances to the seemingly perfect lives and bodies portrayed by others. This constant comparison can lead to feelings of inadequacy, self-doubt, and a distorted sense of self-worth. Success and happiness can generate feelings of discontentment and anxiety. It is important to recognize and address the psychological impact of social networks. When consuming social media content, individuals should be encouraged to develop a healthy and realistic perspective, and their critical thinking skills to recognize the potential negative effects of excessive comparison and the pursuit of unrealistic ideals. Developing a positive self-image and cultivating self-compassion can also help individuals navigate the challenges of social media and reduce the likelihood of psychological distress. Additionally, fostering a supportive and inclusive online environment is crucial to counteract the negative effects of comparison and unrealistic expectations. Thus, we should encourage authenticity, empathy, and kindness on social networks among young people. We can contribute to a healthier online culture that celebrates individuality and reduces the pressure to conform to unrealistic standards by enhancing body positivity, diversity, and acceptance. Still, addressing the psychological distress caused by social networks requires a collective effort from individuals, social media platforms, and society as a whole. We, as youth workers, can mitigate the psychological distress associated with social networks and create a more positive and empowering digital landscape if we educate on healthy online habits, raise awareness about the potential negative effects of comparison and unrealistic expectations, and foster a culture of inclusivity and support. Overuse or use as a distraction among youth. The overuse or use of technology as a distraction among youth has become a prevalent issue in today's digital age. With the constant access to smartphones, tablets, and other digital devices, many young people find themselves spending excessive amounts of time engaged in screen-related activities, such as social media browsing, gaming, or streaming content. This overuse or reliance on technology as a form of distraction can have various negative impacts on their well-being. One of the key concerns of technological overuse is the potential negative effects on mental health, as it may replace or hinder face-to-face social interactions. Young people expend excessive screen time, contributing to feelings of isolation, disconnection, and loneliness. In connection to this idea, we have to point out that it can also hinder the development of essential social skills, such as effective communication, empathy, or problem-solving, which are crucial for healthy relationships and future success. Another negative effect is that it can also lead to a sedentary lifestyle, reduced physical activity, and a higher likelihood of developing symptoms of anxiety and depression. Furthermore, the constant distraction and stimulation provided by technology can have detrimental effects on sleep patterns and quality. The exposure to screens, particularly before bedtime, can disrupt the natural sleep-wake cycle, leading to difficulties falling asleep and obtaining sufficient rest. It is well known the cascading effect that this can have on overall well-being, mood, cognitive function, and overall physical health. Additionally, it can interfere with important aspects of a young person's life, such as academic performance, interpersonal relationships, or personal development. Spending excessive time on screens can result in decreased productivity, poor concentration, and difficulties with time management. Addressing the issue of overuse or use as a distraction among youth requires a multifaceted approach to be taken not only by parents, but also educators and caregivers. They have to firstly promote awareness and education about healthy technology use, foster a balanced lifestyle which includes alternative activities and interests, and establish supportive environments that encourage mindful and intentional engagement with technology. These actors play a crucial role in setting limits and modeling healthy technology habits in young people. For example, they can establish clear rules and boundaries around screen time, encouraging regular breaks from screens. Furthermore, as we are compelled to cohabit with the digital world, it is of the utmost importance to teach young people digital literacy and critical thinking skills, to navigate the digital world responsibly, to assess the credibility of information and to engage in meaningful online interactions. We have to empower them to make informed decisions about their technology use and avoid falling into the trap of excessive distraction. It is necessary to emphasize the value of face-to-face connections, self-reflection, the development of offline skills, and the benefits of alternative activities, such as outdoor play, hobbies, or social interactions. In the same line, we have to create opportunities for young people to explore and engage in a variety of activities beyond screens. It could be sports, arts, volunteer work, or other kinds of activities and hobbies that foster personal growth and social connection. Providing outdoor activities and nature-based experiences can also offer them a refreshing break from technology and support their well-being and peace of mind. Ultimately, finding a healthy balance between technology use and other aspects of life is crucial for the well-being of young people and their holistic development. Climate change-related impact of digitalization. The digitalization of society has had both positive and negative impacts on climate change. On one hand, digital technologies have the potential to contribute to climate change mitigation and adaptation efforts, as they enable increased energy efficiency, resource optimization, and the development of innovative solutions for sustainable development. For example, digital platforms can facilitate the sharing economy, reducing the need for physical resources and minimizing waste, and smart grids and energy management systems can optimize energy consumption and reduce greenhouse gas emissions. However, the digitalization of various sectors has also resulted in a significant environmental negative footprint, consumption, and consumerism. Online shopping, streaming services, and digital entertainment can lead to a higher demand for goods and services, resulting in increased production, transportation, and associated carbon emissions. The growing use of digital technologies, the construction of data centers, telecommunication networks, and cloud computing require substantial energy resources and physical impacts on land and ecosystems. They also consume vast amounts of electricity to power servers and cool the equipment. Consequently, as digitalization continues to expand, the energy demand of these infrastructure components increases, leading to higher carbon emissions. Another drawback of the rapid turnover of digital devices, smartphones, laptops, tablets, etc., is that it contributes to the generation of electronic waste, whose improper disposal can release hazardous substances into the environment, posing risks to human health and the ecosystem. That is why it is crucial to manage and recycle e-waste in an environmentally responsible manner to mitigate its impact, as much as possible. However, a preventive approach to prevent environmental contamination could be to foster the design of digital devices for longevity, repairability, and recyclability, so that we can minimize e-waste generation, or implement effective e-waste management systems and disposal. Unfortunately, the production and distribution of digital devices require raw materials, such as coltan, rare earth metals, etc., energy and transportation, which not only contribute to environmentally damaging practices, carbon emissions, and resource depletion, but also to social issues. The use of sustainable materials and practices in the production of digital devices can reduce the environmental impact, and responsible sourcing and ethical supply chain practices can address social and environmental concerns associated with mineral extraction. Lastly, another impact of digitalization is the unequal access to digital technologies, which also creates a digital divide, as marginalized communities may be excluded from the benefits and opportunities brought by digitalization. 4.2. Where are we heading? Climate change-related impact of digitalization, fostering conscious users. The increasing digitalization of society has brought the need to foster conscious users who are aware of the climate change implications of their digital behaviors and can make informed choices to mitigate these impacts. Having conscious users, who follow energy-efficient practices, turning off devices when not in use, using power-saving modes, choosing energy-efficient devices, etc. will be of great support to reduce the negative impacts of devices' production, use and disposal, and, therefore, carbon emissions. Being aware of the massive generation of electronic waste and their proper disposal and recycling is essential to prevent harmful substances from polluting the environment. That is why it is important to raise awareness among users, so that they take sustainable actions like extending the lifespan of their devices, repairing them when possible, or ensuring responsible recycling. We can all contribute to a more sustainable digital landscape, making sustainable choices also while engaging with digital content and services. Such choices include supporting platforms and providers that prioritize renewable energy sources for their operations, or promote eco-friendly digital initiatives. If we are conscious that our browsing, streaming, or using cloud services has a carbon footprint associated, due to the energy required to power servers and data centers, we could choose to adopt certain practices, such as optimizing streaming quality, minimizing file storage, or using energy-efficient data centers. We, as youth workers, have the opportunity to highlight and raise awareness about the importance of being a conscious and mindful digital user. This can be done through education, awareness, and engagement, through various means. First of all, we should integrate climate change and sustainability education into our activities, training, and actions, raising awareness about the environmental impacts of digitalization and promoting responsible digital behavior. Likewise, we could promote the introduction of such topics in school curricula. Discussions and workshops in communities should be facilitated to promote awareness and knowledge sharing about the intersection of digitalization and climate change. We could also launch public campaigns that highlight the climate change-related impact of digitalization and provide practical tips for conscious digital consumption among young people. We can encourage responsible use of technology among individuals and organizations about the environmental impacts of digitalization by carrying out raising awareness initiatives and encouraging sustainable digital practices, such as minimizing unnecessary energy consumption, reducing digital waste, and supporting eco-friendly digital initiatives. On the other hand, we could advocate digital service providers to adopt sustainable practices, disclose their environmental impact, and provide users with tools and information to make eco-conscious choices. This could improve the energy efficiency of digital devices, ensure the use of renewable energy sources, and eventually help reduce the carbon footprint of digitalization. Since bridging the digital divide is crucial to ensure equitable access to digital technologies and their benefits, we can train communities about digital literacy and provide access to technology in marginalized communities, so that they are empowered and motivate their participation in climate change actions. Lastly, in order to avoid the unnecessary loss or disruption of digital devices and contribute to a safer and more secure digital environment, youth workers can develop workshops and training related to good digital hygiene, data privacy, and security, so that users can play an active role in protecting the environment. Let's not forget that a holistic approach that combines technological innovation, sustainable practices, and responsible use of digital tools is essential to create a more sustainable digital world. The importance of being selective and critical when it comes to digital contents. The significance of exercising selectivity and critical evaluation in relation to digital content is a matter of paramount importance in today's information-driven society. With the widespread accessibility and abundance of digital information, individuals are confronted with an overwhelming array of content from various sources, platforms, and mediums. In this context, the ability to discern and evaluate the quality, accuracy, and reliability of digital content becomes crucial for individuals to make informed decisions, develop a well-rounded understanding of the world, and guard against the potential pitfalls of misinformation and manipulation. This is particularly important in the context of climate change, where accurate and reliable information is crucial for comprehending the issue, taking appropriate decisions and meaningful actions, and avoiding misunderstandings or even denial of its existence. Thus, it is necessary, during our youth work, to develop young people and the population's skills regarding fact-checking, source verification, critical thinking, and media literacy. By cultivating these skills and habits, individuals can navigate the digital realm effectively, prevent the spread of misinformation, contribute to the fight against climate change, and become responsible and resilient digital citizens. The act of being selective involves consciously and purposefully choosing the digital content to consume, considering factors such as credibility, relevance, and value. This necessitates a proactive approach in seeking out reputable sources, authoritative voices, and evidence-based information. This helps ensure that the information they consume is based on robust scientific evidence and accurate data. We can support and inform young people on how to exercise selectivity, so that they can steer clear of misleading or biased content that may perpetuate misinformation, reinforce stereotypes, or promote unfounded beliefs. Moreover, we could prepare a workshop to focus on selecting content that aligns with personal interests, goals, and values and allows individuals to engage with meaningful and enriching material that contributes to their intellectual and personal growth. Equally important is to educate young people's critical evaluation skills or critical thinking when engaging with digital content. Critical evaluation involves the systematic assessment and analysis of information, scrutinizing its sources, verifying claims, and assessing the overall credibility and objectivity of the content. Young people, and digital users in general, need to question themselves about the motives and biases behind the information, examining supporting evidence or lack thereof, and considering alternative viewpoints or conflicting narratives. We can help individuals guard against the influence of misinformation, propaganda, and manipulation, and develop a nuanced understanding of complex issues if we train them to critically evaluate digital content. In an era marked by the rapid dissemination of information through digital channels, being selective and critical about digital content serves as a safeguard against the potential risks and drawbacks associated with misinformation or sensationalism. On the other hand, as the digital landscape can sometimes amplify certain viewpoints, or create echo chambers where individuals are exposed only to like-minded opinions, having critical thinking skills, individuals can actively seek out diverse perspectives and voices in general, and about climate change in particular. It will also help them to engage in constructive dialogue with others who may have different viewpoints. This way, we will empower individuals to become active participants in the digital landscape, making informed choices and contributing to the creation of a more informed and discerning society. Eco-activism online. Eco-activism, also known as environmental activism in the context of online platforms and digital spaces, has emerged as a significant force in promoting environmental awareness, mobilizing communities, and advocating for sustainable practices. Online eco-activism encompasses a wide range of activities conducted through digital platforms, such as social media, websites, blogs, and online forums, including social media campaigns, online petitions and campaigns, virtual protests and events, educational webinars, and digital advocacy initiatives. These digital spaces provide a powerful avenue for individuals and organizations to disseminate information, raise awareness about pressing environmental issues, and engage with a diverse audience on a global scale. With the proliferation of digital technologies and the increasing connectivity of individuals worldwide, online platforms have become instrumental in facilitating eco-activism and expanding its reach beyond traditional physical boundaries. The digital realm has become a hub for virtual events, such as webinars, live streams, and online conferences, where eco-activists can share knowledge, engage in discussions, and mobilize for action, reducing the carbon footprint associated with physical travel. It offers accessibility, information sharing, networking, and collaboration opportunities, facilitating people from diverse backgrounds and locations to connect and participate in environmental discussions and campaigns. It also allows the amplification of marginalized voices, contributing to the global movement for a more sustainable and equitable world. Online petitions provide a platform for individuals to advocate for policy changes, encourage sustainable behaviors, voice their concerns, and demand action from governments, corporations, and other decision makers. In particular, this tool enables individuals from diverse backgrounds and marginalized communities' voices to be heard and share their experiences, concerns, and solution proposals. This is important since, as we explained before, inclusivity is crucial for addressing environmental justice. One of the key strengths of eco-activism online lies in its ability to mobilize and connect individuals across geographical, cultural, and socio-economic barriers. Through digital platforms, activists can quickly and efficiently share information, collaborate on projects, and build networks of like-minded individuals who are passionate about environmental causes. Online spaces stimulate collective action and foster a sense of community among eco-activists, since it facilitates dialogue and allows individuals and groups with shared interests and goals to connect, exchange ideas, perspectives and knowledge and collaborate on projects and campaigns to educate and inform others. This collective effort amplifies the impact of eco-activism. Furthermore, the digital realm offers eco-activists a unique opportunity to leverage multimedia tools and creative storytelling techniques. Through visually compelling content, videos, infographics and interactive platforms, eco-activists can effectively communicate complex environmental issues in accessible and engaging ways. This helps to capture the attention and interest of a wider audience, including those who may not have previously been actively engaged in environmental advocacy. Social media allows organizations or individuals to share news articles, research findings, infographics, videos, or personal stories, which helps build a collective understanding of environmental challenges and the urgent need for action. Likewise, various online tools and resources have been developed to support eco-activism efforts, like environmental apps, carbon footprint calculators, sustainable lifestyle guides, and educational resources. We can use these tools to empower young people and other individuals to make sustainable choices, measure their impact, and take meaningful action in their daily lives. However, it is important to acknowledge that the effectiveness of online eco-activism is not without challenges. The fast-paced and transient nature of digital platforms can pose obstacles to sustaining long-term engagement and achieving tangible outcomes. Moreover, the digital landscape is also characterized by information overload, echo chambers, and the potential for misinformation. Thus, eco-activists must remain vigilant, critically evaluating information and employing strategic communication approaches to maximize the impact of their efforts. Therefore, we need to ensure that efforts are strategic, well-informed, and grounded in scientific evidence to bring about meaningful change in the pursuit of environmental sustainability. Youth workers play a crucial role in training, engaging, educating and informing young people about why and how to become digitally eco-active. They can use various strategies to equip young people with the necessary knowledge, skills, and motivation to contribute to positive environmental change in the digital sphere. For example, youth workers can organize workshops or training focused on digital literacy, critical thinking, or cybersecurity. Effective online communication, how to engage in respectful and constructive conversations, active listening, empathy and conflict resolution skills. How to develop content creation, social media management and digital storytelling skills to create environmental awareness campaigns. How to establish online communities, discussion forums, or platforms. Share connections with relevant resources, organizations, and networks in the online eco-activism community. NGOs and digitalization. Non-governmental organizations, NGOs, have undergone a significant transformation through the adoption of digitalization. By embracing digital technologies and strategies, NGOs have been able to enhance their operations, communication, and impact in various ways, including in the context of climate change and environmental protection. One key benefit of digitalization is the expanded outreach and improved communication that digital platforms offer. Through websites, social media, email marketing, and online advertising, NGOs can reach a larger audience and effectively convey their mission, initiatives, and impact. These platforms also enable greater engagement with supporters, donors, and beneficiaries, fostering stronger connections and facilitating information sharing. In addition to outreach, digitalization has revolutionized fundraising for NGOs. Online platforms provide diverse avenues for accepting donations, such as crowdfunding campaigns, online giving platforms, and mobile payment systems. The use of social media and email marketing further amplifies fundraising efforts, by allowing NGOs to connect with potential donors, share fundraising campaigns, and cultivate relationships with supporters. Efficiency and streamlined operations are another significant advantage of NGOs' digitalization. Project management systems, cloud-based storage, and collaboration platforms enable teams to work more effectively, regardless of geographical location. Administrative tasks, such as accounting, donor management, or reporting, are also simplified through digital tools, freeing up time and resources for NGOs to focus on their core missions. On the other hand, data collection and analysis have become more accessible and impactful through digital technologies. Online surveys, data management systems, and analytics tools enable NGOs to gather valuable insights about their beneficiaries, program effectiveness, and impact. This data-driven approach helps inform decision-making, track progress towards goals, improve interventions, and assess program effectiveness, leading to more targeted and impactful outcomes. Digital platforms also empower NGOs to engage in advocacy and raise awareness effectively. Through social media, blogs, and online campaigns, NGOs can amplify their voice, engage the public, and advocate for policy changes. The power of social sharing and online mobilization allows NGOs to reach a wider audience, creating a ripple effect of awareness and action. Moreover, online platforms and virtual collaboration tools facilitate knowledge sharing, joint initiatives, and resource pooling among NGOs and other stakeholders. These partnerships, which include government agencies, businesses, and academic institutions, foster collective impact and the exchange of best practices, leading to more comprehensive and sustainable solutions. By embracing digital technologies and strategies, NGOs are better equipped to adapt to the evolving landscape, engage stakeholders more effectively, create meaningful change, and drive positive social impact, maximizing their impact in addressing social and environmental challenges. Moving rural youth forward via remote youth work practices. Remote youth work practices are a transformative approach that aims to empower and support young people living in rural areas. Remote youth work utilizes digital technologies and online platforms to bridge the geographical divide and provide young people with opportunities for personal growth, skill development, training, socializing, and community engagement. This approach recognizes the unique challenges faced by rural youth, such as limited access to resources, educational opportunities, and social networks. By leveraging digital tools, such as video conferencing, online forums, or social media platforms, remote youth work breaks down these barriers and creates a virtual space for young people to connect, learn, and participate in various activities, events, and actions. This way, rural youth can access a wide range of educational and vocational programs that otherwise are unavailable to them. Online learning platforms, webinars, and virtual mentorship programs enable young people to acquire new skills, explore career pathways, and enhance their employability. Thereby, we can address the issue of rural youth unemployment and equip them with the tools needed for personal and professional success. This strategy also fosters social connectivity and community engagement among rural youth, through online forums and social media groups, which provide platforms for young people to share experiences, exchange ideas, and collaborate on community projects. By doing so, we empower them to be active participants in shaping their communities, strengthen their sense of belonging, and boost collective action and social cohesion in rural areas. Furthermore, this kind of youth work also offers opportunities for personal development and well-being to young individuals. For example, we can provide a supportive environment for rural youth to address emotional challenges and build resilience, thanks to online counseling, mental health support, and peer-to-peer networks. Likewise, we can enhance the overall quality of life for young people in rural areas through virtual recreational activities, creative outlets, and sports programs, which promote physical and mental well-being. The benefits of remote youth work extend beyond individual youth to the broader community, because rural youth with skills, knowledge, and confidence can become agents of positive change within their communities. Their newfound expertise can contribute to local economic development, environmental sustainability initiatives, and social innovation projects, thereby fostering overall community growth and resilience. Ultimately, youth work practices can harness the power of digital technologies to overcome the limitations faced by young people in rural areas, make them thrive, and directly contribute to the well-being and progress of their communities, and the protection and care of the environment. 4.4. How do we work on those topics with youth? Youth Workers Treasure Chest: Informal and Non-Formal Educational Practical Methods of Work with Youth. This chapter, we will share informal educational resources and activities that can be used by youth workers and educators to help young people understand and reflect on the actual world digitalization, and the pollution connected to it, and social media addiction and related emotional difficulties. We have to remember to adapt the activities to the specific needs and context of our youth groups, allowing for open and respectful dialogue throughout the sessions. The following non-formal educational activity addresses the impact of social networks on psychological well-being of young people. It is called Social Media Shuffle, and it helps to raise awareness about the psychological impact of social networks, and empower young people with strategies to navigate them in a healthy and resilient manner. During the activity, we should highlight the importance of self-care, setting boundaries, seeking support, and cultivating a healthy relationship with social networks. This interactive and physical activity involves movement and group interaction, therefore, we have to bear in mind the space available, the physical abilities of the participants, and to create a positive and inclusive environment where participants feel comfortable expressing themselves through movement. Instructions. Explain and explore the influence of social media on our emotions and self-perception. Engage participants in a brief discussion about their experiences with social media. Explain that this activity is a movement-based reflection on social media. Assign each participant a social media platform, example, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and provide them with a corresponding action or emotion associated with that platform, example, scrolling, comparison, validation, FOMO, fear of missing out. Create a list of social media platforms and associated actions, emotions on a flip chart or whiteboard for participants to reference. Clear a designated space to move freely and play energetic and upbeat music. Instruct participants to move around the space freely and creatively, embodying the action or emotion associated with their assigned social media platform. Encourage them to express themselves using gestures and body language to convey their experiences. Respect each other's personal space and avoid any physical contact. Pause the music abruptly and ask participants to freeze in their current positions. Facilitate a brief reflection by asking, how did it feel to embody the action or emotion associated with your assigned social media? What thoughts or emotions did you experience during the activity? Did anything surprise you about your own movements or the movements of others? Bring the participants together for a group discussion. Guide a discussion asking, how do you think social media influences your emotions and self-perception? What are some of the positive and negative effects of social media on our well-being? How can we develop a healthier relationship with social media? In small groups or pairs, ask participants to brainstorm strategies for using social media in a mindful and balanced way, and specific actions to minimize its negative impact on their well-being. Each group can share their ideas with the whole group. Summarize the key takeaways from the activity and the group discussion. Emphasize the importance of being mindful and critical when using social media, and encourage participants to implement the strategies they developed during the activity. In order to address social network overuse among young people, we can carry out the following educational activity: mindful social media, balancing connection and well-being. With this activity, we can raise awareness about social media overuse and its impact on well-being, and empower young people with strategies to develop a balanced and mindful approach to social networks. We have to emphasize the importance of self-awareness and offline activities, to promote healthier digital habits and overall well-being. Instructions. Facilitate a discussion on the benefits and challenges of using social networks. Provide each participant with a piece of paper or a small card. Ask them to take a few minutes to reflect on their own digital habits and write down the social networks or digital activities they find themselves using most frequently or getting easily distracted by. Prepare a set of small cards with different digital detox challenges written on them, example, go device-free for 24 hours, limit social media use to 30 minutes per day, have a device-free meal. Distribute one card to each participant randomly. Facilitate a group discussion where participants share their thoughts, initial reactions, and potential benefits and difficulties of their given challenge. In pairs or small groups, have participants brainstorm strategies and ideas for completing their assigned challenges, and share them with the whole group. Emphasize the importance of setting realistic goals and identifying potential barriers or temptations. Instruct participants to implement their digital detox challenges for a specified period of time, example, 1 week. Encourage them to document their experiences and reflections. Gather participants together after the completion of the challenge period, so that they can share their experiences, insights, and any changes noticed. Facilitate a group discussion. Distribute individual sheets of paper or digital templates for participants to create their personal digital action plans, and write specific healthier digital actions they will maintain. Provide additional resources or tips for maintaining a balanced and mindful approach to using social networks. The following is an interactive and experimental activity that will help young people explore the environmental impact of digitalization, and encourage them to discover sustainable digital practices. Eco-Digital Scavenger Hunt is an educational activity that will help young people to reflect about the impact of digitalization on climate change, related issues, and how to address it. We can use it to raise awareness and empower young people to make sustainable choices in their digital lives. It is important to emphasize the relevance of individual actions in contributing to a more sustainable digital future. We can adapt the activity as per the specific needs, time constraints, and resources available for your youth work context. Instructions: engage participants in a brief discussion about their digital habits and how they perceive the connection between digitalization and climate change. Provide each participant with a scavenger hunt checklist that includes a list of digital activities or phenomena related to climate change and their environmental impact. Explain the instructions and rules of the scavenger hunt, emphasizing the need to find specific examples or information related to each item on the checklist. Allow participants to use their mobile devices to search for examples or information related to the items on the checklist. They can explore various online platforms, websites, or social media channels to find relevant content and collect evidence, screenshots, links, or notes. Gather participants to share and discuss their findings. Ask each participant to present one item from their checklist and explain its connection to climate change and its environmental impact. Encourage discussions and meaningful dialogue about sustainable digital practices. Facilitate a brainstorming session where participants generate practical ideas for adopting sustainable digital practices and reduce impact based on their scavenger hunt findings. Instruct them to write at least 3 specific actions they commit to taking to reduce their digital carbon footprint, being specific and realistic in their commitments. Give each participant an opportunity to share their digital pledges with the group. Create a supportive and positive atmosphere where participants can inspire and motivate each other. Provide opportunities for participants to reflect on their progress and evaluate the effectiveness of their sustainable digital actions in subsequent sessions. During our youth work, we can play the Sustainable Digital Choices game, an interactive activity to engage youth in a fun game that raises awareness about the climate change-related impact of their digital choices and encourages them to make conscious decisions for a more sustainable digital footprint. We can adjust the time allotted for each step based on the available time and the dynamics of the group. Adapt the game cards and scenarios to suit the specific needs and interests of the participants. Materials needed: Sustainable Digital Choices game cards, prepared in advance. Timer or stopwatch. Writing materials, pens, pencils. Flipchart or whiteboard with markers. Handouts with sustainable digital tips and resources. Instructions: conduct an icebreaker activity related to digital habits. For example, have participants pair up and discuss their favorite digital activities and their impact on the environment. Explain the rules of the game to the participants. Each participant will receive a Sustainable Digital Choices game card, which contains a scenario related to digital choices and climate change. Set a time limit for each round, example, 2 minutes per scenario for participants to brainstorm and discuss possible sustainable solutions for the given scenario. Start the game by distributing 1 Sustainable Digital Choices game card per participant. Set the timer for the specified time limit, example, 2 minutes, and announce the first scenario. Participants should discuss the scenario within their small groups and come up with sustainable solutions or actions to address the challenge presented. Encourage participants to think creatively and consider both individual and collective actions that can contribute to a more sustainable digital footprint. After the time limit is up, each group shares in a flipchart their ideas and solutions with the larger group. Facilitate a group discussion after each round to explore the ideas and solutions shared. Prompt discussions on the effectiveness and feasibility of the proposed solutions and the broader implications of digital choices on climate change. Provide participants with writing materials and ask them to reflect individually on the game and the discussions. Instruct them to write down 1 specific sustainable digital pledge or realistic action they commit to taking based on what they learned during the game. Invite participants to share their sustainable digital pledges with the group so that they can ask questions, provide feedback, and offer suggestions to each other. Summarize the key takeaways from the game and emphasize the importance of individual actions in creating a collective impact. Provide handouts with sustainable digital tips, resources, and websites to support participants in implementing their pledges. Follow up with participants in subsequent sessions to reflect on their progress and evaluate the effectiveness of their sustainable digital actions, challenges, and success stories. Mindful media exploration is an interactive activity that focuses on the importance of being selective and critical when consuming digital content. Therefore, it aims to develop young people's critical thinking skills. Its duration may vary depending on the size of the group and the depth of discussions. Instructions: facilitate a brief discussion on participants' experiences and challenges when it comes to navigating the vast amount of digital content available. Divide participants into small groups of 3-4 people and assign each group a specific topic related to climate change or social issues. Instruct each group to spend 10 minutes exploring the internet to find one article, video, or social media post related to their assigned topic. Emphasize the importance of choosing reliable sources and diverse perspectives. Ask each group to present their chosen digital content to the larger group. After each presentation, facilitate a discussion to analyze the content critically. Ask: what is the main message or argument presented in the content? Who is the intended audience? What evidence or sources are provided to support the claims? Are there any biases or assumptions present in the content? How does the content align with other perspectives or information you have encountered on the topic? Divide participants into pairs or small groups. Provide each group with a set of index cards or small slips of paper containing statements related to climate change or social issues. Instruct participants to fact-check the statements using reliable sources within a specified time limit. Encourage participants to critically evaluate the information and cross-reference it. Gather the participants together for a group discussion. Facilitate a reflection on the challenges and strategies encountered during the fact-checking process. Instruct participants to brainstorm and write down guidelines for being selective and critical when consuming digital content, considering factors such as source reliability, fact-checking, diverse perspectives, and avoiding the spread of misinformation. Discuss common themes and important considerations that emerged from the guidelines. Summarize the key points and compile them into a digital content guide to be shared. A non-formal educational activity that we can use to engage young people in eco-activism online is Digital Eco Warriors. This activity will engage youth in a series of interactive and action-oriented online challenges that promote eco-activism and encourage sustainable behaviors. By raising awareness, advocating for environmental causes, and promoting sustainable behaviors through digital platforms, we empower them to become eco-activists. Instructions: discuss the importance of eco-activism and how online platforms can amplify its impact. Present a list of eco-action challenges that participants can choose from. Examples include creating a short educational video about climate change, organizing a virtual eco-campaign, or participating in an online environmental movement. Assign each participant or group with a specific eco-action challenge. Provide guidelines, resources, and examples to help them understand the task and its potential impact. Allocate a specific time frame to complete the challenges. Encourage creativity and innovation in their approach, and use various online tools and platforms. Instruct participants to document their eco-action journey through photos, videos, or blog posts, and share their progress and experiences on social media platforms, using relevant hashtags and tagging eco-conscious organizations or influencers. Ask participants to interact, share updates, and provide support to one another, engaging with each other's eco-action posts, offering feedback, encouragement, and suggestions. Ask them to assess the impact of their actions and share any changes or positive outcomes they observed, thinking critically about the potential long-term effects of their efforts. Consider organizing a virtual event or showcase where participants can present their eco-action projects, share their learnings, and inspire others in a webinar, live stream, or online gallery. Provide resources, tips, and ongoing support to help them sustain their commitments. The activity Digital Storytelling Challenge is directed to youth workers. It aims to encourage their creativity and critical thinking by engaging them in a digital storytelling challenge that highlights the work of NGOs in the context of climate change. Instructions: start by introducing the concept of digital storytelling and its power to engage and inspire audiences. Explain that the challenge will be to create a digital story that showcases the work of NGOs in addressing climate change issues. Divide participants into small teams of 3-5 members. Encourage participants to form diverse teams, including individuals with different skills and perspectives. Instruct each team to choose an NGO that works on climate change-related issues. Provide a list of NGOs or allow teams to research and select their own NGOs. Distribute paper or sticky notes and markers to each team. Instruct teams to brainstorm and outline the key elements of their digital story, including the main message, target audience, and storytelling approach. Encourage teams to consider different digital mediums such as videos, photo slideshows, animations, or social media campaigns. Provide digital devices and access to the internet for teams to create their digital stories. Teams can use various tools and platforms such as video editing software, graphic design tools, or social media platforms to create their content. Give each team an opportunity to present their digital story to the rest of the participants in a creative and engaging way. Allow time for questions and feedback from other participants. Facilitate a group discussion on the power of digital storytelling in raising awareness about climate change and the work of NGOs. Ask participants to individually reflect on how they can apply the principles of digital storytelling in their own work as youth workers. Provide a handout or worksheet for participants to develop an action plan to integrate digital storytelling into their work. Participants can also be encouraged to share their digital stories on social media platforms to reach a wider audience. Rural Youth Connection. This activity aims to promote connection, empowerment, and personal development of rural youth, and activate their engagement in remote youth work practices. While carrying this activity, youth workers should ensure that the online communication platforms and tools used are accessible and user-friendly for all participants. Conduct an icebreaker activity to help participants get to know each other and create a positive and inclusive virtual environment. Facilitate a group discussion on the challenges and opportunities faced by rural youth, and encourage participants to share their experiences, aspirations, and concerns. Instruct participants to create a virtual map using an online collaboration tool or a shared document. Ask each participant to mark their location on the map and provide a brief description of their rural community. Invite a guest speaker who has experience working with rural youth or has expertise in rural development. Conduct a live virtual session where the guest speaker shares insights, stories, and practical tips related to empowering rural youth. Divide participants into small breakout groups of 4-6 members. Assign each group a specific discussion topic related to rural youth empowerment, example, access to education, employment opportunities, environmental sustainability, etc. Provide guiding questions to stimulate discussion and encourage participants to share their perspectives and ideas. Bring participants back to the main session and give each breakout group an opportunity to present a summary of their discussions. Encourage the use of visual techniques. Facilitate a session where participants identify and discuss actionable steps they can take to address the challenges faced by rural youth. Encourage participants to set personal goals and commitments to make a positive impact in their communities. Allocate time for participants to reflect on their learnings and experiences during the activity. External resources and materials with interactive links. The following are further external resources and materials that may be helpful for those interested in addressing digital difficulties and dangers for young people and how new technologies can be used to help fight climate change. Social media lesson, social media stress, an idea for an activity while scrolling Instagram. If social media is a stressor for young people, on this website you will find a social media practical activity that is a huge hit among youngsters. For ways your students can quit the comparison game, help young people step back and stop comparing their journeys to another's. Here's some tips to get started. Psychological stress and social media use. It makes sense to wonder if the use of digital technology creates stress. There is more information flowing into people's lives now than ever, much of it distressing and challenging. Social media and mental health. While many of us enjoy staying connected on social media, excessive use can fuel feelings of addiction, anxiety, depression, isolation, and FOMO. Here's how to modify your habits and improve your mood. Social media set unrealistic standards in society, as social media is a vital part for everyone. Here are some tips to handle its negative part. Filtered images and unrealistic expectations. Social media's link to depression and self-harm. It is particularly problematic when a chunk of the images young people are exposed to are edited, offering a warped reality. 5 ways to keep your social feeds from destroying your mental health. Logging off isn't always possible, but boundaries can help. Several essays about unrealistic expectations of social media. Your ultimate guide to social media detox. There is a need to acknowledge the sad fact about social media addiction and how it is taking over our lives. Under pressure, are the stresses of social media too much for teens and young adults? The pressures of portraying the perfect life on social media can lead to depression and other serious mental health issues. Working on universal and normalized digital wounds in adults. This is an audiobook about digital difficulties for young adults. 75+ technology questions to discuss with young people, reflection activity and awareness-raising questions for youngsters. Play Climate Action Bingo, game to become aware of how to individually help fight climate change by implementing small adjustments to our lifestyle. Eco-activism, what it is and why it is relevant. Eco-activism is simply a form of engagement in social or political campaigns with the aim of preventing damage to the environment. Online youth activism, no filter, basic knowledge for young people to create their own online activism campaigns. Advantages and disadvantages of online activism. In this article, the pros and cons of online activism are examined. Activism online. This activity introduces young people to different ways they can use the internet to work toward positive social change. 10 ways to stop checking your phone so much. Check this infographic to shy away from an unhealthy phone dependency. It provides 10 ways to cut down on smartphone use. Is digital detox necessary? Take a quiz to find out. 5 ways to regulate the time you spend online and the internet. Tips to help stop wasting time online. Overuse of devices and digital dementia. Instead of being enslaved by technology, we can control its use and tap it to our advantage. How to help students resist their phones and develop better digital habits. The negative impact of overusing social media on your brain. Disconnect to reconnect. Understanding the effects of social media on your brain. Digital divide throughout the world and why it causes inequality. Digital citizenship writing activity, poster, group collaboration project, an excellent resource for teaching appropriate digital behavior. Our digital carbon footprint. What's the environmental impact of the online world? Article delving into our increasing reliance on digital tools has an environmental impact that's becoming increasingly harder to ignore. How to use 8 websites to teach about climate change. Webs with ideas and ways to protect and preserve the environment, including a short description of each site. Website Carbon Calculator, free web and methodology for calculating the carbon emissions attributed to a website, to help raise awareness and inspire a more sustainable internet. 10 sustainable website designs that will inspire you. 10 examples of live websites that incorporate elements of sustainable design. Critical thinking worksheet, facts and assumptions. We need to learn how to apply critical thinking strategies to separate the facts from assumptions. Critical thinking worksheets, activities that improve young people's critical thinking. Fake news, disinformation, and propaganda, a guide to get you started on considering the issue of information pollution. Using short video clips to teach media literacy, exercises to help young people make critical thinking a habit as they consume media, both inside and outside the classroom. Resources for identifying fake news, activities on how to identify fake news, so they automatically think critically, before clicking, sharing and assuming what they see is true. 8 non-profit marketing campaigns we love, tips and examples to build a non-profit's marketing strategy from the ground up. 10 Facebook best practices for non-profits, tips on how to ensure an NGO's Facebook page feeds exposure. 10 website design best practices for nonprofits, 10 website design best practices specifically for the nonprofit sector. 11 must-know stats about how NGOs worldwide use internet technology. This research provides a set of online technology benchmarks for NGOs worldwide. Social media for NGOs, why, how, and which ones? A glimpse into the complicated area of social media management and tips on how to maneuver it to profit the maximum for an organization. How NGOs can kickstart their digital efforts, tips for NGOs to boost invisibility. How can technology help combat climate change, carbon management process? How to create digital game activities for the remote classroom, how to bring interactivity in remote youth work, for young people living in rural areas. Moving forward climate action plans using online workshops. 7 concrete steps to carry online workshops and engage rural youth on climate action. Free virtual escape rooms, on a variety of themes, some may be fun to do as activities with rural young people. Tutorial on how to create your own virtual escape room. 7 strategies to foster remote informal learning. 100 remote learning activities, templates and tutorials, ideas of activities to work with rural youth. Remote learning ideas for secondary special education. How to host a virtual scavenger hunt activity for rural youth.